Welcome back to the garage renovation. When we left off, the cabinets were in the garage but were not yet installed. Today we're going to be installing the cabinets and the countertop for those, as well as moving some of the tools into their final storage locations. I know it seems like we're already partway through the installation, but the only two things you've missed are 1. Me pestering my dad for several weeks to come and help me out, and 2. Installing that L bracket of 2x4s on the back wall. The purpose of that L bracket is that the foundation sticks out past where the wall is, so when you back the cabinets all the way up to the edge of the foundation, there's still about a 4 to 6 inch gap, depending on where you are, between the cabinets and the wall. To hang the L bracket, we started by taking a 6-foot level and drawing a straight level line along the back wall where the cabinets would be. The L bracket is mounted against this level line, and it gives us a good point of reference for how high the cabinet should be, and so that we know we're going straight across the entire length of the wall. Additionally, the L bracket is going to give us a lot more structural support because that's bolted to the wall and the cabinets are going to be bolted to it. Otherwise, we'd have this 4 to 6 inch air gap behind the cabinets, and the entire upper half of the cabinets would be unsupported in the back. Working off of the L bracket as our level point of reference, what we're doing is going through, shimming each corner starting at the back corner and working our way out until the entire cabinet is level or roughly level in all directions. We're doing this for each section of cabinet, and then once we're confident that we have it correct and it is level in all directions, we're bolting it to the back wall and to the cabinet next to it. One thing to notice here is that we're not using clamps because this is only a garage application. In an actual finished setting, such as a kitchen, you would always want to use clamps to hold everything perfect, and to get everything really well situated, you want to use some sort of adhesive or caulking on all your shims so you know they're not going to shift over time. Because this is an asphalt floor and it's already got a lot of imperfections, it doesn't make sense to waste that effort here because just from the weight of the cabinets alone, they're going to sink and settle over time, and I know they're going to need to be readjusted down the line. The only other major item that we're doing with these cabinets is trying to reassemble some of them. As I said earlier, these are secondhand cabinets that I was able to obtain for free, and as a result, some of the corners are damaged or falling apart. We're cutting some extra blocks of wood and re-securing the corners to those and re-gluing them, and that way these will hold up to a lot more abuse. I'm not going to show it, but the last two things we're going to do is recheck each section of cabinet to make sure it's level in every direction, and trim the shims that are at the base of the cabinets. We want to make sure they're not sticking out, so that way when we're working around, putting everything in the cabinets and putting the countertop on, we don't accidentally kick any shims out of place. At this point, the placement of the cabinets is just about finished and the cabinets are pretty much level in every direction, which is what we want. After quickly cleaning out the cabinets, it means I can start taking boxes and putting them into the cabinets, which means I can get them out of my house! Like I said in the last video, there's no one method I'm set on for storing things yet, and I know I'm going to have to play around with this, so it's kind of a guess and check game until I actually use all the things in this area and rearrange it how I know is going to be best for me down the line. As a result, there's a few times where you'll see me take things back out of the cabinets and move them around and try them in different areas again just to see what fits where. Additionally, I'm taking probably more time than I should to go through some of these boxes of things that I have because there's a lot of car parts that I completely forgot about. For example, why do I have a spare turbo when I have a car that could use a turbo for no reason? But that's a question for another time, so I'm going to sweep up and call it quits for the day. Now we're going to jump ahead a little bit to when we install the countertop after another few weeks of me pestering my dad incessantly. I'm not going to show the video of making the countertop because I'm hoping it's something that doesn't come up for a normal person's life, but all it really is an MDF board, or you could use plywood, that has a big sheet of laminate cemented to the top using contact cement. Although the majority of the backer is MDF, I do recommend using wood around the edges like we did. The thing is, when you're installing this, you're screwing up from the cabinets underneath into the bottom of the countertop. The MDF that you're going into is going to be a lot more likely to strip out or to wear out over time than a wood, especially in those areas. The other place that we use wood is as a front or an edge board around the entirety of the front. When screwing into the bottom of the countertop, it's helpful to have something heavy, such as your dad, sitting on the top of it. Note that if your screws are too long, they will go all the way through the top. We had some excess contact cement that came through at both seams on the top, so I'm going to clean that up now with some acetone and elbow grease. It turns out, though, elbow grease isn't actually a grease of any sort, it's just hard work. After several minutes of wallowing in disappointment from that discovery, I'm staining the front edge of this countertop. The only issue is that I'm trying to stain this and it's probably about mid-30 degrees at the warmest in this garage, so the finish isn't going to be perfect. I'll probably have to do a second coat later on when it's warm enough. Having played around enough with the storage, I decided I did need the pegboard to store most of my small hand tools. I installed spacers at both the top and the bottom to try to get a consistent gap between the pegboard and the wall, and that way it would be easier to put things on and take things off. Now, just like with the cabinets below, it's a matter of trial and error and just going through what I have available for hangers and what I want to put there for tools until I find something that works. I realize I'll probably have to adjust this again later on. There's no point having you guys watch me struggle with this for as long as I did in reality, so I'm going to close out the video here. I'll resume the next video once I've gotten this area a little bit more organized and once I've finalized a few more of the storage solutions for some of the other tools and sockets that I have. In the meantime, I want to thank you guys for watching.